Yes.
I am resident of College for YouTube, Jules Saints. That's my buddy Patrick McCray. That's my buddy Alan Gallant. Get a job. I'm
Well,
talking
why
to
did
the
you send
dog.
it
I'm
to
talking
Alan?
to the dog.
Oh,
Talking
and you
to my
call Alan a
dog.
dog?
My dog is barking here. And she's like,
We couldn't hear it. That's why we thought you were
Yeah.
like just hurling insults at us.
no, it's also my dog. She's out here by my leg barking. I'm like, what do you want? I have nothing. I have nothing. But God. But we're
He
here.
doesn't believe that lie any more than you do.
Yeah, oh my God. We're here to review Cinema Paradiso, which is an Italian movie.
Viva Italia.
Uh, it has subtitles. So really, really good movie. I love the shots of Rome. I love the shots of the little small town in Italy. Really, really cool. And it's a town by this. I think it's a town like sort of by the sea. A very small village, if you will.
Lots of towns in
Well,
Sicily are by the sea.
Sicily's an island, so they're all by the sea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Really, really cool. This movie was, let's see, what was it? Release date was November 17th, 1988, Italy. September 20th, 1989, France. So that's interesting. Wait, where's the U.S. date here?
But it had
Okay,
to have been in '89 because it got the Oscar.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. For whatever reason, maybe it's out of laziness, Wikipedia doesn't give it. But
I
that's
can
just
tell
me.
you maybe why. I think Miramax just made it available at some point for rental, and that
Yeah,
was it.
that may be. Music here by Ennio Morricone and his son Andrea
Yes.
Morricone. Really, really interesting. This is directed by Giuseppe
Tornatore.
Tornatoro. Really, really interesting. Guys, when did you first see this movie, Patrick?
Well, I just shoved food in my face. Um, I first saw this movie in late May 1990, 1990. And I saw it on my prom night, I think. And it was shown by a crusty projectionist at a little one screen movie theater in a neighborhood down the street that I'd been going to since I was a little kid and since I'd been working at for the past few years. It was a pretty eerie movie to see as you are one day away from graduating from high school. Yeah.
Yeah, being that it is a coming of age film in some ways. I mean, it's a lot of different things. That's definitely one of them.
Bildungsroman. Yeah, it's one of those. And it had a very profound effect on me, as you might imagine.
Yeah.
And it still does.
How did you first see it?
Whenever it first came out on home video, which was probably around 1990, probably.
Yep.
I was newly married, and because I'd married like fall of '89, and lived on 7th Street in Bangor, and we were close by a video store. It was within walking distance. So I used to go there all the time, looking for Dark Shadows videos once a month, and then for various other stuff the rest of the time. And that was one of the things that I think it had been recommended to me, or I had read some blurbs on it or something that made me pick it out at that point.
Well,
Because,
won the Oscar.
yeah, it was probably a blurb about that. But um, so I watched it then, probably, 1990.
Yeah, cool. I first saw this today. Uh, you guys are more familiar with this movie than I are. What did you think of its plot?
Uh, it's great. It is an intertwining plot. The screenplay is really treats the intertwining of a lot of different ideas within what is a single thread story. It's a story about this kid and uh, this discovery that he makes, this fascination with film, and and this rather reticent um, um, projectionist at least at first, who becomes a father figure to him and a mentor to him. At a, and he's like 8, 9 years old, I guess, and he's small for his age, and he's precocious, and he's incredibly intelligent, and he is also rebellious, and he does what he wants to do, and his mother doesn't know what to do with him, and she eventually comes around to the fact that this kid has actually learned a skill and a trade, and comes to accept the fact that this is what he wants to do. And so, after years of sort of guilting him away from it or trying to, and also the projectionist as well, trying to shame him out of the association, it turns the other way. With a lot of things in life, it's really the ability to stick to it that marks it for success. And the kid learns that he has a love of all things cinema, and eventually goes away after falling in love and joining the military and doing all the things that young men possibly do to see the world. He ends up, a filmmaker himself, a director and a filmmaker himself. So it's really profound in its simplicity. It's a human experience. And the older I get, the more emotionally connected I get to this kind of experience. This is also about community. It's also about this meeting place in the square, in the town square, which is this theater, which is resurrected in multiple ways. It's resurrected literally after it burns down. It's resurrected in the life and spirit and philosophy of these people in the town. And eventually it has to, like all things in life, it goes away. And not all things go away in one lifetime, but all things go away. It's just kind of the way it is. And it comes full circle because we discover the boy is an adult in his 40s, living a life that's not entirely complete, although it's successful. And his mother calls him and says, you need to go. You need to come here. You need to come see me. You need to come because Alfredo's died. And that's all we know about him. And then through flashbacks, we discover how he discovered his life path and the joy in it, which is gone from his life now for some reason, probably because he has completely disconnected from it in many ways. And so he goes back for the funeral ultimately after reliving this in one sleepless night. And then flies back home to his village that he had been told never come back. Don't ever come back. He's been told this by Alfredo. He's been told this by his mother. Really didn't ask him to come.
She just approved of him staying away.
Yes, it was a way of getting him out to doing the things that he could not do in their tiny little island community. He was going to be dead-ended there. And he had bigger dreams, and he had bigger skills, and he had a bigger idea, and people saw that. And so they told him not to come back. And it's a great scene where Alfredo just embraces him and whispering this whole thing in his ear, don't ever come back, don't ever come back. And if you ever come back, don't look for me. Don't ever look for me. Just get the hell out of here. And he does it with love. It's heartbreaking, but he's doing it with the greatest mission of any teacher. You teach, and then you say, go out, and you do it. Don't stay here. One of the great lines Alfredo has is I don't want to hear you. I want to hear about you. He wants him to succeed. And he knows that the best way for him to succeed is to go to Rome or wherever and find his way. So it's a great philosophical movie about life, about coming of age, about coming back, about making peace with all the mistakes you've made, and all the guilt you feel about the things just passing through life that happen to you or don't happen to you, or the choices that you do and don't make. And The ending of this movie is fantastic. Uh, he gets this one thing from his dead mentor, and it's a can of film, and all of the pieces that he's had to cut out of these films because the padre in the town has told him you can't have sex or kissing or any of this sort of stuff in his films. So he's like chopped it out, and he's supposed to put it back in the film. He never does. He just leaves it in piles and in buckets and hanging on the wall, and this great mess of film, which at one point leads to the burning down of the whole place. And Alfredo, the projectionist, is blind, and so Toto has to take over. The kid takes over is like an 11-year-old or 12-year-old or something, and he takes over and he becomes the town projectionist, and for a while before he seeks out his own way. He falls in love, gets his heart broken, and has to go, and he goes away, probably because he's afraid. And the first thing that he sees when he comes back to town is a reel that has his first girlfriend on it that he's probably taken at some point. And then he gets this reel of film, and it's all the stuff that he cuts out of these films, all of these like French kisses and half naked reveals of young women and stuff that the local padre said, no, that's pornographic. You have to cut that out of there. And he sits. For those of you who've never seen this movie, he sits in the movie theater and watches the first run, and rings the bell every time. Every time there's something, a little bit scandalous, and sometimes it's just a look, lustful look.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious, and it's also part of the character of the community, and it's also a sort of provincial, rural, isolated kind of thing. It's not all bad, but for Toto, he can't stay there. If he stays there, he's just going to be a projectionist for the rest of his life. Amazing film, amazing film. I was on the edge of emotion for good 2/3 of it, just remembering this. This didn't have this impact on me when I was 29.
So what's so you mentioned age being the big difference. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Tell me more about that.
Because of things that I've had to leave behind in my life, and the people in my life that lifted me up, and all of the stuff that hadn't happened. A lot of it hadn't happened to me yet, or I hadn't noticed it happening to me when I was younger. And when I first saw this film, I was still drinking, so I was not as emotionally available. I appreciated it for what it was, a great work of art. It's a masterpiece of a film, but I didn't appreciate it for the raw and sheer humanity of it and how it applies to so many of us. So you asked me about the plot, and there you got the whole thing. So
beautifully rendered.
Yeah, Patrick, what did you think?
Well, it's a sort of tight-knit techno thriller that,
I agree. I like the strobe effect in that too.
Chris Pine is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's it's a great plot. That's an interesting thing to ask about the plot, because I don't really think of the plot. It's so organically knit into
just a lifetime happening. It's just like that kind of stuff. Life and journeys happening.
It is so realistically rendered, and so well paced.
Mhm.
You know, you don't spend any longer on a moment than it needs, and you move on. Everyone's a hypocrite in the movie in a beautiful little human sense,
Yep.
which I think is great. And you know, this actually would be a very good movie to watch in the middle of an Andy Griffith marathon because it's an Italian Mayberry, and if you can
Yeah.
identify with the stuff in Mayberry, you can identify with the stuff in Cinema Paradiso. It's maybe the most American movie ever made.
Well, it's very universal, I would say.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, yeah, but America has you know, that movie theater in the town square. If
It does, in a small town ethos too, in
That's
a
right.
lot of,
That's right. And the best type of small town ethos
yeah.
where they really come together. Even when they harass each other, it's with love
Yeah, and
and with
gossip
love of
about each
movie.
other and shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all, but they're all part of the. And the one guy that runs through the town, he's the town crazy guy who says, "It's my square,"
At
and
the
he's there at the end of the movie.
and at the Vogue, which was the movie theater that I worked at, the analog to this, because it followed my life very closely, and it would continue to do that for a long time, and it still is doing that.
Yeah.
Uh and and we had one of the one of the big laughs when we saw it for the first time was the when the town crazy popped up because we had one.
Mm-hmm.
We had one. His name was Chris Lee, who had way too much acid in the '60s and literally blew his mind. I mean, it was way beyond
Yeah.
Don Briscoe, who had,
He stayed in another plane and never came back, kind of thing.
yeah, Don apparently did some plays, you know, some community stuff.
He did.
He worked at a gas station, so he was pretty much of the real world. But Chris wasn't, and Chris went by the name of Ashtar. And he was enormous. He was huge and fat, big, big beard, and he looked like the Robbie Coltrane character from the Harry Potter movies.
Hagrid,
except without all the trans hatred. And
oh, God.
and he would stand out talking in the middle of the air, essentially imitating a mailbox from Candid Camera, and and I remember my first memory of Ashtar. I'd gone to see The Great Dictator, and I saw this man on the front row of the theater talking loudly back at the movie. I've been going to the movie for years. I'd never seen this guy, and he would during music scenes he would conduct on the front row. And I went and told Carl, and Carl said, "Oh, he's no problem." I said, "Carl, what are you talking about? This guy, Carl was my Alfredo."
Yes.
And and Carl said, don't worry about him, and explained that Ashtar was sort of a fixture, and I'll never forget. Well, my mother, of course, was very worried about him, frightened by him, and then when she moved a few blocks over and had this house very near where Mitch Ryan grew up. I mean, just like a few doors down.
Yeah.
It was this house, and it looked like on a normal street, but when you went in the backyard extended for an acre, and it was wooded, and there were lights in the trees and grape arbors, and all. It was fantastic. And I went there in the summer when I saw it for the first time, and Ashtar was living back there, but it wasn't with there was no filth, there was no trash or anything. He was literally like a woodland creature who, when we would wake and the mists would be back there, and Mendelssohn would be
come out of it.
he was wandering around, and it was the most natural looking thing in the world. But I'm reminded of really one of the only photos I have of him, and it's when I had my first comic book signing, and I was 21. And Elvis Shrugged had a comic book signing at the Great Escape, to our comic book store, and not many people showed up. Let's say like people who knew me showed up, but the very first person who was there was Ashtar, and he wore a sport coat and a turtleneck, and he was in his own way very dapper. And how beautiful! And Paradiso, to sort of loop back to it, is kind of full of that added dimension of human beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I mean, not everybody's going to have a personal connection with a movie like that, and it may be even dangerous to have it. I don't know. Maybe it's not a healthy thing,
I don't think it's unhealthy at all.
but it's
This is coming from somebody that was completely emotionally closed off the first time he saw it.
yeah. Okay. Well, it's as you can see, I'm sort of straining to get through talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
and keeping it together. But it is the best movie about movies and about our relationship with movies. There's so many movies that are out there that are about movies and our relationship with it from an artistic point of view. See people making the movies and so on. We never see a movie about what you would think would be a duller subject, which is the consumption of movies and what it does for a community and how it is the force.
Yeah,
It binds them.
It's really more the church than the church is.
Oh
in this
yeah,
town.
because it tells the truth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about the plot of the movie.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this movie first time watching it. I will say that, I'm not from a small town, but I live in a small town for the past ever since I've been married. So, but this movie is to me is it doesn't just feel like a movie; it feels like a story of life and how not just movies affect you, but the people around you affect you and shape your life. How they'll sort of push and pull, and the people who come into your life and sometimes break your heart. I feel that's where the movie is sort of the most movie-esque is when has the girlfriend. But I do feel that for the most part, this movie never felt like just another a film. It stood on its own as its own story of shaping a young man's life and him learning about not just film, but people around him. He went. I mean, he went after the girl he loved, which okay, I get. That's cool. But when he comes back after all that, well, this is the end, sort of with the flashback, and he's being told to move on by Alfredo. He's telling him, hey, nostalgia. Don't give in to nostalgia, which I like because he's telling him don't focus. Basically, in a sense, he's telling him don't
tell
look back.
live in the past. Yeah.
Don't live in the past. Don't look back in a sense too. And
Yeah.
he's telling him that too, and he takes that message to heart. And I think by the end of this movie, you can take away that he kind of finds his love for film again, with the theater being tore down, seeing all the old people who were there, his mother. I know they say in the director's cut the girl is there.
Yeah.
The girl he
Well, okay. So you want me to talk you through the director's cut?
Sure.
It's a piece of it's not good.
It's unnecessary baggage, basically.
Well, big. Have you seen it?
I've
No.
seen parts of it. Yeah, it's just.
Oh God, it ruins everything.
It's
And so
junk. Yeah.
we have to look at it as a parallel time,
Mm-hmm.
not the truth of what went on, but a very different take. So once he's back in Giancarlo, he kind of stays for a while, and he finds out he obsesses about Elena. And now what was romantic of him standing on street corners and waiting to catch a glimpse now just seems creepy and weird, and he's like a stalker.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally gets together with her. She's married, and I think he sort of like inserts himself into that, and which is just odd. And I kind of blocked out a lot of what else happened, but the big reveal. Oh, one of the real painful montage pieces is when he's in the army. He keeps writing her letters, and they start getting returned to him. For one thing, he wasn't getting anything from Elena. She had not quite broken up with him yet when he went off to join the army, or when he was conscripted. I don't know how they did it in Italy. And so he eventually the letters that he's sending him are, return to sender address unknown. And he's shattered by this. Well, when he runs into Elena now, she says, I wrote you over and over again. Why didn't you respond? You broke my heart. He said, I broke your heart. And she said, yeah. And well, the truth is that the letters were being uh, intercepted by Alfredo, and he was keeping them from getting to him because I think Alfredo thought that maybe he needed a good heartbreak, he needed a good source of pain as an artist, and he needed one more reason to not come back to Gene Caldo. And so, and that's a really weird.
It also
For Alfredo.
it also is too extreme, I think, for Alfredo to do
Yes,
something.
it would not occur to the Alfredo I extract from the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
That more sounds like something her dad would have did.
Or
I
her
mean,
mother,
yeah.
dad or mom. Yeah. The
Yeah,
dad definitely didn't approve of them, so we see that in a brief flash.
Yeah.
But I think it's much better when we just see the pile of letters happening. And
Yes.
that's it. That's all you need to know.
Well, in the movie, because it has Ennio Morricone, and this I'm not going to say it's his greatest score. However, I'm not going to say it's not.
It's pretty darn good.
It's pretty damn good. I mean, it really is. And you can just tell his heart is in every note.
Mm-hmm.
It's an extraordinary suite of music, and it's good because the movie has a ton of silent sequences, meaning dialogue free.
Yes,
including the climax of the movie. Almost the last reel of the film is just Morricone.
Yep.
And it's devastating.
Mm-hmm.
Dialogue could top what he accomplishes.
No, that's the great thing about this movie. It's soaringly uplifting, and it's also heartbreaking at the same.
And it does both at once. It uplifts you by ripping your heart out and throwing it in the ground. How it does it, I don't know. It is not hurt. It is alchemy.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's lead to gold. It's amazing stuff. I was amazed to see the actress that plays Elena, Agnes Nano, looks so much like Nastasha Kinski with lighter colored hair.
Does.
She's she's stunning, and the one that played the mother, the younger mother,
yes,
Nella. Jesus, she was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, heartbreaking. And Jacques Perrin, who has to take. Basically, he has to take all the emotional import from all these flashbacks that he's not a part of as an actor, and he has to make them. What's a good word for it? He has to make them emotionally. He has to give them emotional gravitas by his mostly silent response to them at the beginning, and then especially at the end of the movie.
And he relates to it so truthfully.
Yeah,
you never question that he is not Toto.
Right. Yeah. It's a real tour de force for him too, because he has to do that in the shortest amount of time and
almost no dialogue.
Yeah.
He does it really well. He does a great job doing it. Because when he comes into the bedroom, he tells his girlfriend or whoever she is, he goes, "Why don't you go back to sleep?" And she goes, "Oh, you received a phone call from your mother. Someone passed away." And he says, "Well, who?" And she says, "You must come." And he says, "Alfredo." And then when he turns away, you see it on his face really well that this was somebody that mattered to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the flashback. He does it. When he first turns, you kind of see his face. You see his face, and it's like, okay, we're about to get a really interesting story because this is somebody.
He basically his entire life flashes before him in one sleepless night.
Yeah.
And then he gets up and gets on a plane.
Yeah. It's an hour long.
I'm sorry, Joel, what were you saying?
Yeah, an hour away. I think what?
Yeah, it's not that far away at all.
Uh,
As a matter of fact, when his mother says, "You're tired, you're tired," oh, no, I'm fine. It's only an hour flight, and she kind of looks at him like, "And you haven't been here in 30 fucking years." It's like, she gives him the mother look, but she also says some pretty profound things to him. She also absolves him. She gives him absolution, and she also says, "Every time I call is a different woman on the phone. What I wish for you is love and to be loved."
Yeah, none of them have love in their voices.
Yeah.
Man. I think too, by the end of this movie, when he's watching the reels, he's watching the film, he's getting a sense of love back for the movies in a lot of ways. I always took that from like when just watching this one time. I really loved the characters. The projector guy was really fun. Alfredo, he was a lot of fun. He said he wasn't smart enough to do anything else. Which that just tells me I would not have believed the director's cut at
Yeah.
all.
Well, he's one of the two French actors in this film. One of the
Yeah.
two leads that's French.
Yeah.
Which of course French actors know how to speak probably 4 or 5 languages anyway, because they're working in all these different countries. When you're born in a country that's the size of a state in the United States, you're gonna work in Germany, you're gonna work in Italy, you're gonna work in Switzerland, you're gonna work wherever. England sometimes. So most Europeans are at least bilingual, if not try.
And in Italy, it's even weirder because of the way they shot movies then. I think they were still shooting movies like that where they recorded the sound elsewhere.
Yes, a lot of times they did. Yeah, and that could cause some strange.
It's just cacophony on the set. Different people speaking in different languages, just waiting for the other person to stop talking.
Yeah, I mean, Clint Eastwood talked about that when he was doing the 3 Man with No Name films. They always shot the sound somewhere else. He said on the set he was told this by people, and they said, "Well, wait, aren't they doing the sound?" He says, "Yes, but they always lose the sound. It's like it sucks so bad. Somebody listens to it and says that's it, and throws it in the trash. And okay, we'll redo it. Okay." Come to Barcelona next month. We'll redo the sound.
That's true.
So, yeah. I would not be surprised if they were still doing that in 1988. I would not be surprised.
Yeah. Well, it just made sense. It increased the number of different, types of people you could have on the set, and people have an immediate technique. Just wait for them to stop talking.
Yeah.
To apply to film acting.
Some movies just have weird sound too.
Yes, they do.
Shane has it. The Great Silence has weird sound, even though Morricone doesn't score. The sound is weird.
Doing simultaneous sound is incredibly difficult for most filmmakers because there's always stuff going on. People drop shit, and it's a beautiful take. What are you going to do? You're going to do the sound over, or if it's outside in environments, birds are chirping too loud, or there's cars going by, or planes going overhead. All sorts of nonsense can happen that can interfere with what otherwise is a brilliant take. So you have a lot of redo on sound and film.
You guys give me your top 5 Morricone scores.
Well, I mean, obviously, the Fist of Dollars,
those 3
Untouchables. Those are 3.
Yeah.
What would you add to those?
This film, of course, is with his son too, but it's still it's really good.
Jewel, what else would you throw in there? Well, Once Upon a Time in the West, I suspect.
Well, yeah, my top 5 would be at 5 this. Untouchables for the Dollar trilogy would be 3. The Great Silence would be number 2, and number 1 would be Once Upon a Time in the West.
Yeah.
Love John Carpenter's The Thing. That would be number 6.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah, where he just imitates John Carpenter. It's brilliant. Yeah, he really does.
I keep forgetting it's Montenegro for the Man with No Name trilogy anyway. So
Whoa! Was it Montenegro or
yes, it
or was
was.
it just
I always get them confused.
or was it just an album?
It was it could have been just his elbow and his baton, but
I think I would look that up because that's an incredibly important distinction.
yeah, it is. It's
Otherwise, it might as well be Vic Mizzy or Frank Duvall.
well, it might have been his penis.
Okay,
Oh,
let's see him hold a baton.
Yeah, seriously.
I would recommend that you guys watch The Great Silence for the score alone.
I've never heard of this movie. What is it?
It's a snow western about a bounty hunter named Silence who.
Oh, we saw this.
Yeah,
we reviewed this.
I don't think I was part
last
of that
year.
I reviewed it.
Yeah, I was there for sure. It was
you and Butch.
It might have been Butch rather than you. Yeah. It's Klaus Kinski.
Mm-hmm.
He plays Silence.
Klaus Kinski plays the villain. Yeah,
he's really good.
Yeah,
as usual, playing a crazy, unreliable, backstabbing lunatic.
Yeah.
Imagine this movie with Klaus Kinski as Alfredo.
Oh my god.
He would have hurled the child out the window, and the movie would have been over in 10 minutes.
I'll give you an underrated Morricone score. Probably 2 Mules for Sister Sarah, which is
well, which one?
No, that's what it's called.
The first mule.
Yeah.
The
Oh, there you go.
At least Sister Sarah thought so.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, really great score for this one. Really great scenery too. The scenery.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew you were going to like that, Jewel, from the first 5 minutes of the movie, because they show that great scene of the shoreline and all that sort of thing.
Well, great scenery mixed with great acting. That's what doesn't make a film boring too, because
it makes the environment real when it's done right.
And it makes the people in it feel so real. They're very
John Ford always subscribed to the idea that location was a character all of its own. So, and it's true.
Yeah. Ford told Steven Spielberg, go see some art.
Mm-hmm.
See some art, because you got to see art. Ford had a lot of great quotes, actually.
Yeah.
Our buddy Butch.
A lot of them had F-bombs choicefully thrown in, but
when I think you were there for this, Alan, when we did My Darling Clementine.
Yeah.
And Butch was telling when somebody told John Ford, hey, your film's not accurate because it was about Wyatt Earp. He goes, and John Ford goes, were you entertained? Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, really. It's a film.
It's a film. Right.
Get the F out of my office.
Yeah, that's it. Oh my god. I give this movie a 12, guys. What do you guys give it?
Oh yeah. It's just spin it around about 4 times on the scale.
It's really good. It's really, really, really good. Is there anything you guys want to add about this before we go?
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh shit. What do you guys want to do Monday?
Yeah, I have a suggestion.
Sure.
I've been grabbing the wheel for a while, but it's a movie I've never seen, and I just want to see it to see what sort of companion piece it is. It's an American film about a small town movie theater and the effect it is. It's called The Majestic.
Oh yes.
It's
very Capra-esque. I've seen it, and I think you might enjoy it.
Is it a worthy companion? Not equal to, but companion to Cinema Paradiso.
I think they may have borrowed from Cinema Paradiso somewhat, although the outcomes are a little different. And also the circumstances of, when I say borrow, I mean just certain situations, not
Is it worth our time?
Yes, I think so.
Joel, what
I
do you
think so.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's good.
It's very Capra-esque. So, and
Yeah,
it's got some what's his name from who played Dracula in Ed Wood. Ed
Right.
Wood.
Oh, Mark Landau.
Landau is in it.
I would say that the movie's good. Does it? I wouldn't say it quite captures the realism of the movie we just watched.
No, it
You know what I
doesn't.
mean?
It's that's
Because it's Hollywood, you know what
It
I
is.
mean?
It's Hollywood, and it is Capra-esque, and it's
Right,
in a
right.
lot of ways. So,
But it's an entertaining movie.
It is a good movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it very much.
Directed by Frank Darabont.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, tomorrow for that movie, The Majestic. It's on Tubi. I'll send you guys the link.
It's on Tubi. Okay, great. Fabulous.
Yeah. Link to Patrick McCray's Dark Shadows Daybook Unbound will be in the description box. Link to Alan Gallant's YouTube channel, Collinsport After Dark, will be in the description box. Guys, tomorrow's Michael Myers Monday, so enjoy your Monday. Have a good one.
Thank you, Joel.
Bye-bye.
Bye.